At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Well, happy Monday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. You are waking up to Mike Krueger on Coffee with Krueger, 6:30 in the morning. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mike Krueger. Yeah, Coffee with Krueger. Hey, what an interesting weekend. I want to start with some images from Saturday. We cannot start this Monday without talking about what happened on Saturday, especially for those of you in the Anderson area, even in the Reading area, Cottonwood. There was a hail event that produced accumulating hail. And of course, it was created problems on I-5 and on some of the roads as well. This is what it looked like in Anderson on Saturday. Now, this is out at the Safeway shopping complex out there. This is courtesy of Kathy. I want to thank you for sending in that image. This is out in Reading, courtesy of Brad. There you can see some of the accumulating hail. And the hail is coming out of people's gutters, from what I understand. I didn't experience any hail where I was, per se. But again, well, you just go around some of the surrounding areas, and there was a lot of hail out there. This is in Cottonwood. I got a report from my mother-in-law out in Cottonwood, as a matter of fact, who said that there was some pretty intense hail out there as well, and accumulating hail. It makes it look like snow, and you know what? It can be just as dangerous, if not more dangerous than snow on those roadways. So yeah, it's one of those things where it can happen very quickly, and then before you know it, you're slipping and sliding, and we've got car accidents. So, hopefully there were no major injuries or major accidents, but this is what it looked like in Cottonwood on Saturday. Thank you, Chris, for sending in that image. This is David Hoffman. This is out actually in Reading, near the new Costco on Bonneview. And so it was kind of out storm chasing. I don't know if I'd want to go chasing hail, get some hail damage on your car, but take a look at some of the hail. He was able to kind of show there, kind of the size, kind of that pea-size hail, right? Wasn't major, but it certainly was heavy enough and strong enough to where we did see, you know what? I apologize. I'm gonna get you going here. In fact, I'm gonna stop this and we're gonna start again. I forgot to start the social media. Here we go. Social media is going now. So we are going to start from scratch, folks, because, just in my little routine here, a couple of buttons, I got to push a lot of buttons to get the live stream going. And sometimes you skip a step. So good morning. Happy Monday morning to you. I'm Chief Meteorologist Mike Krueger. And, I guess it's going to be a Monday start for me. I forgot to push a few buttons out there, but now we are on social media. Now we are on Facebook. Now we are on X. And now people can start interacting. So again, I apologize for getting a late start to you. It was on YouTube, it was on Roku, it was on Amazon Fire Stick, it was on the website. It just wasn't on our social media platform. So we are going to do a little repeat for those of you who are watching, and we're going to talk about the hail event that we did see on Saturday. You know who you are, and you know where most of that hail was. This is courtesy of Kathy in Anderson. This is out of the Safeway shopping complex out there. Nope, that's not what I wanted to do. It's Monday. It's Monday and it's already doing this to me. Come on, let's get to it. Let's get through this Monday together. This is out in this was in Reading as well, courtesy of Brad. There you can see some of the accumulating hail that we saw there. There was accumulating hail in Cottonwood. And I had a report also from my mother-in-law who lives out in Cottonwood saying there was some hail accumulating. Now, as you know, accumulating hail can be just as dangerous, not more dangerous than snow on the road. So it's one of those things that can happen very rapidly, very quickly, and you've got to slow down, and hopefully everyone else do the same. But it can create a lot of problems on those roadways. So I want to thank Chris out in Cottonwood for sending in this image. This is courtesy of David Hoffman. This was out near the new Costco near Bonneview. And he was able to kind of pick up some of the hail. And you can see, look at that. I mean, you're talking, some pea-sized hail. But it was enough to accumulate on some of those roadways. Although it looks like based off in the distance there from his windshield, didn't look like it was really accumulating that much, at least at that point, on the roadways at that part of Redding. But we also can't forget about the fact that there was snow over the weekend too in the higher elevations. This is courtesy of Kelly Smith at 4,200 feet, Lake McCumber. She said she saw about 2 to 4 inches of snow, depending on where you were standing. So interesting to see, of course, the snow. There were chain requirements on Saturday morning in some areas. It wasn't too terribly widespread, but there certainly were some problems there. All right, let's take a look at the headlines. Mainly dry start to your work week. And I say that because there are some areas that may see some showers, which we'll get into a little bit later. The rain overall, though, returns on Wednesday with snow levels between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. And of course, the big question for a lot of people is going to be Easter Sunday. A lot of people have those outdoor plans, the Easter egg hunts, right? Is it going to be dry for those Easter egg hunts? Well, we're going to talk about that in more detail. I'm going to tell you right now, it's not guaranteed to be dry. Let's put it that way. Here's a quick glance at your neighborhood forecasts for the Valley, Trinity County, the North Coast, Siskiyou, Modoc County, and Eastern Mountains. Those are the 6 neighborhoods that we cover here at Weather NorCal. So you can see for the Valley, Trinity County, I think it'll be dry. Although I will say this, late in the day, parts of the eastern parts of the Valley, in particular, say in Butte County, maybe even eastern Shasta, Tehama County, could see a chance for some light showers later this afternoon. But I think most of it will be in Modoc County. Eastern Siskiyou County could see some of those, and not to mention some of the eastern mountains. Even places like Bernie, Chester, Susanville, Quincy could see a chance for some showers later this afternoon. Right now we're at 45 degrees for Redding, 39 in Corning, 45 degrees in Chico. And of course, we are looking at 27 degrees in Chester, 32 degrees in Susanville at the current hour. And there you can see Oroville, about 44 degrees. There you can see, of course, the visibility looking pretty good. There may be a few spots, especially for some of those inland valleys that could be looking at some lower visibility. But for the most part, things are looking pretty good. By the way, taking a look at Crescent City Harbor District camera here, there is the moon. Now, this is known as the worm full moon. Now, another interesting thing that occurred with this full moon was there was a penumbral lunar eclipse last night and early this morning, which is finished. It finished up at 2:30 this morning. And the penumbral eclipse is actually not as spectacular as, say, a full lunar eclipse. And it just kind of, what happens is the outer shadow of the eclipse hits the moon, and that outer shadow of the Earth, that is, hits the moon, and it dims it just a little bit, but not by much. But now it's back to its full splendor, and we no longer have that penumbral eclipse. Looks like someone's out there getting ready to do some fishing. They are out bright and early in the morning. I guess that's what you got to do. There, of course, you can see Lake Oroville, North Forebay. You can also see the worm full moon there as well. And of course, now you can't, although if you look in the water there, you can see the reflection of the moon on the water there. Kind of a nice shot. We're beginning to see more sunlight this time of the day. And boy, give it another week or two and we'll start looking at a lot more daylight this time of the hour. There's Main Street Chico on Highway 32. Looks like someone patiently waiting at the red light. Isn't that always frustrating? There's no one around and you're sitting there at a red light. Doesn't it just feel like, why am I sitting here waiting when there's nobody else around? It's kind of frustrating. All right, anyway, Highway 99 at Neal, but you got to stop. You got to stop at those red lights. Highway 99 at Neal Road. There, it looks like traffic is running smoothly there. And we take a look at Highway 44, the Sundial Bridge Drive. There you can see some of the clouds off in the distance. That's looking east over the mountains there, if you look at the top of your screen there. But there are going to be more clouds most likely coming in from the west later on today. But it looks like traffic is flowing smoothly there as well. There's your satellite and radar image right now. There's a little bit of rain up to our north. There's a disturbance passing to our northeast. This is what's going to give us a chance for showers I was mentioning here later on today. In fact, we'll take a look at Futurecast just for today. There you can see some of the clouds we have in the mountains, but mainly clear in the valley. Now, by the noon hour today, it's still dry, but look it off to the coast. There's actually a few showers over the ocean that may eventually give us a few stray showers along the coast here and for the inland areas later on this afternoon and evening. But also notice eastern Siskiyou, eastern Shasta, the mountains of Shasta County, right? Lassen, Modoc County could all see some showers here. And then going into tonight, some of those could make their way into eastern Tehama County, eastern Butte County, and the foothills mountains there, and not to mention into Lassen and Plumas County. So we can't rule out a stray shower later this afternoon and tonight for some of those mountain locations. So here's what it looks like today in Trinity County. You'll be looking at temperatures in the mid to upper 50s. Now, there could be a stray shower for parts of Trinity County, but for the most part, it'll be a dry day for you today. Ruth in particular, especially southern Trinity County, 51 degrees for Ruth, 54 degrees in Hayfork, and High and Palm about 53. Now, for the North Coast, yes, we could see some of those stray showers later on this afternoon. Nothing to cancel any outdoor plans. You're talking about a sprinkle or a light shower later this afternoon. That's for Ferndale, that's for Fortuna and Hydesville, not to mention Rio Dell. But I think it will dry out for your Tuesday with more wet weather coming in by this Wednesday. 54 degrees in McKinleyville today. That is Hoopa about 58 and 59 degrees in Willow Creek. And we take you up north, Gas Key about 48. 56 degrees in Smith River and 52 degrees in Orick. There's 57 degrees for Horse Creek, 54 degrees in Hornbrook and Montague, about 54 degrees. And for Scott Valley, I think you'll be dry today with 50 degrees in Greenview, 49 degrees in Fort Jones, and Callahan about 52. But places like, say, Tule Lake, Tennant, Dorse, McDowell, maybe a chance for showers. I think much slimmer chances for those showers this afternoon for Weed, Mount Shasta, Dunsmuir, and McLeod. Now, I think a better chance for showers for all of Modoc County this afternoon. It doesn't look like it's going to be a lot, but still that chance nonetheless. Drying out tomorrow, but more wet weather coming in by Wednesday. And the Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, well, I do expect to see mainly dry conditions there as well, although places like Hat Creek, Old Station, Viola, Bernie, you could be looking at a chance for some showers here today. Meanwhile, off towards Lake Almanor West, Lake Elmore Peninsula, Chester, chance for showers today. Westwood about 47 with that chance for showers as well. Taking you to the south, Paradise, Mineral, you're probably dry, but places like Greenville, Quincy, Kronberg, yeah, you could all be looking at that slight chance for showers today. And for the valley, well, there you can see Red Bluff, about 65 degrees, as well as Durham, 65 degrees for Willows. We take you up north with 61 in Whiskeytown, 59 for Lakehead and Palisadro, about 64 degrees today. There's your 7-day forecast for Redding. We've got dry conditions today, tomorrow, mid to even possibly some upper 60s, especially for tomorrow. But it drops again in the upper 50s by Wednesday with that rain. Now, I do expect off and on chances for rain. Heaviest will be Wednesday. Another batch of some heavier rainfall coming in parts of the day on Friday. Otherwise, scattered showers on Thursday, Saturday. Now, Sunday, that's the big question mark. As you know, many of you have plans for Easter Sunday. Question is, will it rain? At this point, it's not looking like a very big chance, but I have to mention this. I have to mention the fact that two of the main long-range forecast models, including the European and the GFS, or the American forecast model, are still keeping that chance for showers in the forecast on Sunday. Again, it doesn't look like it'll be much. Most of it should be to our south, but we can't rule it out. I don't want you to go, hey, Mike said it was going to be dry on Easter Sunday, 6 days, 7 days out, and then it ends up kind of raining a little bit. So that's why we have to keep just a close eye on the forecast here. Hopefully, as we get closer to Sunday, we can get a better handle on what's happening with the forecast at that point. But for now, I'm going to go ahead and keep it fairly dry with that slight chance of rain in the forecast. So how's everybody doing this morning? How did you handle, all of that wet weather? I mean, especially on Saturday. Saturday was one of those days where, it was wet through a good portion of the day. And excuse me, I gotta get a few things kind of adjusted here as we kind of prepare for a few things here. But yeah, I mean, and then of course there were those thunderstorms, the hail. Of course, we saw some of the images coming in from you, and I want to thank you for sending in your images through the app. That is just a great place to send in those images, and of course, it's easier for me to share on social media, and not to mention here on Coffee with Krueger and many of my other weather updates as well. So let's say good morning to everyone. Looks like Lisa is saying happy Monday. All have a great week. Yes, mine didn't start off so great with the show. I had a few things kind of going on, but everything's going smoothly now. My microphone, I believe, is on. I think you all can hear me. Casey saying storm total is 2.5 inches of water, including 1.6 inches of rain, snow, Saturday night Interesting. Yeah, we did see some of that lower elevation snow. And by the way, stick around for the deeper dive forecast because we're going to take a look at how much rain we did see kind of across the area and how we're doing for the season. Some of us did see, because of the rain that we did see on Saturday in particular, it did kind of bump us up a little bit higher for the season, although some areas like Redding, for example, didn't change a whole lot. But again, it depends on where you were, by the way, in Redding, because in the valley, in the airport, only about a half an inch there, but there was over an inch in West Redding. So I guess it just depends on where you are. That's how these, rain totals work. There have been so many times where I report the rain totals for a particular location, and someone will say, your rain gauge must be broken because I saw 1.5 inches. You reported 1 inch. Okay, no, the rain gauge isn't broken. It just happens to be that the location I'm reporting from saw less rain than you did. That's how rain works. I mean, literally, you can go across the street, your neighbor, and they can see more or less rain than you. That's how rain can work. That's just how it works sometimes. So there you go. All right, Bill Carlton, good morning. Beautiful day yesterday. Wondering what's in store for us now. Well, we've got nice weather out there today and tomorrow, but by Wednesday, we've got that wet weather coming in. Now, it depends on where you are, too, because if you're off in the north and east in Modoc County, yes, maybe a chance for showers this afternoon. Eastern Siskiyou County, yes, maybe some of that activity as well, and not to mention Lassen and Plumas counties as well. And some of the eastern mountains east of the valley could see some activity this afternoon as well. Good morning from Nick and Sandra. Everybody have a great day. Mike Krueger, thank you. All right, I love it when you all, greet each other and say good morning to each other as well. Good morning, Mike. 43 degrees and clear in Palisadro. Have a great day. You have a great day too, Dean. David Hoffman saying, hailstorm in Cottonwood Saturday, pretty intense. You bet. I didn't get a chance to see it. I was here kind of trying to keep up with the storm and keep everybody updated on social media. But from what I saw, images I saw, even some videos that I saw, it was pretty intense. On I-5, I know that it was accumulating there, and it can be dangerous. I think I saw a car that spun out in an image that I saw. So yeah, it can get pretty nasty out there. Curtis saying good morning, 7 miles west of Red Bluff, 42 degrees this morning. Yeah, it's a little chilly in some spots this morning. Good morning from Vicky. Good morning from Jenna Lee and Gilbert Burns. All right, Sandra is also saying good morning. Good morning to you all. So glad you could join us this morning. Of course, today we've got a special segment that we do every Monday. And as you know, it is Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. And it's sponsored by Cottonwood Small Animal and Large Animal Clinic, or the Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. And this is a segment I do every Monday. Of course, you can go to the website and you can always check out what's going on there. In fact, let's do this. I'm going to show you where you can do that. I'm going to go to weathernorcal.com. And here's what you do. Here's what I want you to do. If you want to check out all, because I've got them all archived, you can check them all out. Go down here, go to Animal Family, which is, of course, is sponsored by Cottonwood Veterinary Clinic and Small Animal Clinic. And then you scroll down here and you can see Pet of the Week. We got Vet Education Corner. I suggest you check that out as well. That's a really cool segment. And then over here, you click on Wonderful World of Animals. What it does, it takes you to another page, and it takes you to all of the different, it just takes you through all of the Wonderful World of, I do them once a week. So there are a lot that you can check out. And by the way, here is the latest one that we're going to be watching right now, as a matter of fact. So without further delay, let us take you to our Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals, sponsored by Cottonwood Vet and Small Animal Clinic. Everyone, Mike Krueger from Weather NorCal. You, of course, watching Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. Sharon Clay and Artemis.
This is Artemis.
Artemis. Now, Artemis is, I guess we kind of start off with kind of vision impaired.
She is. So her whole story is that she was stolen from the wild by a girl that was like 18 years old, thought it'd be cool, stole her and her brother from the wild, and then kept them for just a month. That's all it took. We're completely malnourished. Ugh. The brother has bone issues. She has vision impairment. And neither one could go back out in the wild. So Artemis came to us when she was 4 weeks old, and she is now coming up this spring on 3 years old.
3 years old.
Yes.
Okay. And then how long do they typically live?
So in human care, usually, well, in the wild, 2 to 4 years. In human care, 6 to 8. But Anali, our last one, lived 14 and a half. So we have high hopes for this little girl. That
really surprises me. I mean, like with rats, that's like a 2-year thing, right? But I wouldn't think that with.
A lot of wildlife do not live nearly as long as one thinks, because there's so, people think the wild is such a wonderful place. The wild is not a wonderful place. It is really hard out there.
Wonderful world of animals.
That's right. They are a wonderful world of animals, but the wild is hard.
It's hard.
And so they get sick or injured in any way out in the wild and they die. Mm-hmm. Here, they have all the medical care in the world. I mean, she wouldn't have survived. Yeah. A lot of them don't even make it their first year.
So what are some of the cool things that she does?
Her in particular, she's amazing. She shows off all her natural behaviors. So she climbs, she jumps. These guys are incredible hunters, but they eat small rodents and lizards. So they are arboreal. They climb trees. They're one of the only members of the canine family that actually is arboreal, hangs out in those trees. They're our only native fox up in the North State. So it's really good to see them around. And they're able to, like I said, they mainly do rodents, lizards, things like that. And that is why they're so important to us. If you notice, she has a short little muzzle compared to like the big red fox, and that shows us that she is a specialized hunter. And you can see how long her tail is with that dark ridge going down it. That helps her with her balance up in the trees. And see those claws? They're semi-retractable, more like a cat.
Oh, semi. I mean, why aren't they just fully retractable?
I don't know. Talk to nature.
Mother Nature, I tell you. Sometimes you're just like, what? Come on. Well, you are definitely a foxy lady. I'm not talking about you, Sharon.
Okay, good. Thanks.
We're both happily married.
I don't know.
You are a foxy lady over there.
She is, and we're so happy to have her. We're happy to have people see her in our show, and they get to see her climb and jump and see really what these guys are all about.
Well, that is awesome. It was nice to meet you, Artemis, and nice to meet you. Oh, no, we've met before. So we will see you next week for another edition of Turtle Bay Wonderful World of Animals. I think at the end of that, she says, why do I do this? We had a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, Artemis, kind of partially blind, and it's kind of interesting. You think about that when we were talking about how the wild is a very rough place. It's very difficult for animals. I love those shows where you got to survive on your own, for as many days as you can. You think about it, right? We have so much access to food and health care and all of that, so we can go to a doctor and it's easier for us to survive. But if we're out in the wild, I mean, people can't make it past 10, 30, 40, 50 days, depending on how long you can survive. But it just gets harder and harder for you to survive when you're in the wild. So kind of interesting. I thought that was kind of interesting kind of when you hear about the animals when they're in the zoos, or like Turtle Bay, for example. They typically live longer because they do have the food, they've got the health care, all that good stuff. Whereas in the wild, it's a completely different story. Kind of interesting. I want to say a good morning from Shyla from Chester. Thank you so much for watching this morning in Chester. And how about Bieber? All right, got Chris saying good morning from Bieber. Well, what do you say we get to the forecast? Before we do that, we've got to, of course, mention our sponsor. That, of course, is Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. All right, so let's get you right to your headlines, and there you can see mainly dry start to your work week. And I say that because there are a few spots that could possibly see some of those showers here. Let me go ahead and turn on that. I don't know what happened there. But there you can see the rain returns Wednesday. Snow levels between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. What's going on? There it is. My monitor. When I'm looking at the camera, I need to be able to see what I'm looking at as well. Dry by Easter Sunday? That's the big question. So we got the rain coming in Wednesday with snow levels between 4,000 and 5,000 feet. It looks like we'll keep the chance for showers once we get into Wednesday through the weekend. And that may even include Sunday, but we'll have to kind of wait and see. It all depends on where the storm system decides to go at that point, because a lot can happen in a matter of 7 days. All right, so let's take a look at the temperatures out there right now. And of course, we just saw someone say hello from Chester. You're sitting at about 27. I don't have the current temperature for you in Beaver, but between Bernie and Alturas in Beaver, you're looking probably somewhere in the low 30s there. 45 degrees for Redding, 45 degrees for Red Bluff, 42 degrees in Willows, about Weaverville, about 39 degrees. Mount Shasta City, 38. Wairika, 38 degrees. 47 degrees in Crescent City and 42 degrees right now in Eureka. All right, so there you can see some rain kind of pushing through the Pacific Northwest. This is a weak disturbance, and that's why it's not really producing a lot of rain. Now, it will eventually move down to the south and east. A little bit of what we call an inside slider, but typically these sliders do give us some winds, but we're not going to really see that. But it will have enough instability that places like eastern Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, the mountains just east of the valley, and Plumas County may see a stray shower later on this afternoon and even into tonight as well. And you'll see that here on Futurecast as we go through about the noon hour today. There you can see mainly sunny skies for the valley, but we're seeing some clouds in the higher elevations, but still dry. You'll begin to notice some light showers developing just off the coast here by the noon hour. Then we go into about 6 p.m. Some of those showers will kind of come through part of the inland areas, maybe western Siskiyou County, parts of northern Trinity County. Very light, not enough to cancel any outdoor plans, but don't be surprised if you're in this area here where you see a stray shower later this afternoon, probably more like a sprinkle. Now, better chances for measurable rainfall depending on where you are, but you can see, as I mentioned, eastern Siskiyou, Modoc, Lassen, parts of Plumas, and of course the mountains just east of the valley, all seeing that chance for showers this afternoon and even going into tonight. By 11 o'clock tonight, though, most of it's pretty much gone. Then by Tuesday, I'm expecting mainly clear skies here through a good portion of the day. However, by the afternoon, some high clouds begin to roll in, and you'll see the first signs of the storm system coming in on Wednesday. Now, it looks like Wednesday morning is when the rain is very light, but we're going to be beginning to see some light showers here, basically west and northwest of the valley. But the main cold front is still off to our northwest here at 6 a.m. on Wednesday morning. Now we take you into about the noon hour. Here's the cold front here, but in advance of it, we're already starting to see some of those showers developing. Snow levels fairly high initially, especially in the advance of the cold front between 5,000 and 6,000 feet. Now, as we go into Wednesday afternoon, now the cold front situated to the north and west of the valley still. So it's going to be kind of moving through the valley probably Wednesday night, and not to mention for the eastern mountains. But you can see here, still seeing those showers. Could we be talking about some thunderstorms on Wednesday? Not out of the question. Certainly have to be something that we'll watch here, but already by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, we're on the backside of that cold front and things dry out for the coast. And of course, we're seeing most of the activity now for the valley and eastward. So we take a look at some of the rainfall estimates. It's not going to be a lot, especially in the valley. The valley could pick up, I think, about, a tenth to maybe a quarter of an inch of rainfall through Wednesday, 5 p.m. That's not including what we'll see as we go into Wednesday night, and not to mention into Thursday. So these totals will start to kind of increase as well. You can see for the coast, obviously much more, because the storm will pretty much pass through the day on Wednesday, and not as much off into the eastern mountains. Now, we look at the big picture here over the Pacific, and you can still see this is something I've been talking about even since last week, of just this active weather pattern over the Pacific that will be having an impact on our weather here going through this week. Now, we saw the specific timing for today, tomorrow, and Wednesday, so I'm just going to kind of show you the advance of that storm system coming in. There it is coming in on Wednesday right there, all right? So we've got this area of low pressure here. This one will actually start to kind of break apart and weaken as we get to the end of the week, but we've got to watch this right here. This is going to get caught up in the flow around that area of low pressure, so watch what happens. You see this? We see a developing area of low pressure right here. That's what comes in as we go into your Thursday and Friday, giving us a chance for rain. Now, we've got to watch the flow around this area of low pressure, because it's that flow that's helping to bring in the rain, and not to mention the snow in the mountains. Now, as we go into Saturday, you see how it's moving to the south, but we still have that flow around the area of low pressure. Now, the thing is, it'll still be to our south on Sunday, and the flow around that low is going to help to still continue to bring us a chance for some showers on Sunday. So, if this low pressure system decides to move a little bit more to the south on Sunday, then we're talking dry conditions. But if it holds steady where it is expected to be at this point, then I do expect that on Easter Sunday, we could be looking at a potential for some light showers. Now, a situation like that doesn't typically bring us a lot of rain, especially when you really get that area of low pressure pretty far to our south, and we kind of get on the back side of the flow, that flow. But still, we can't rule out on Easter Sunday a chance for showers. And then by Monday, the day after Easter, it looks like it's far enough to our south that we really won't get caught up in that upper level flow. So looking at the rainfall through Sunday, I think we can pick up about a half an inch to an inch in the valley, much less than that to the north and east, and of course about an inch to maybe even over 2 inches for parts of the north coast. And even in Siskiyou County, southern Siskiyou County, over an inch there as well. But we're beginning to see signs of the above normal rainfall kind of shifting a little bit more to the south, and we might be looking at those slimmer chances here in the longer range, but still chances nonetheless. Now take a look at the rainfall totals we saw the last 3 days, and I want to really show you this to you because, again, look at Redding in West Redding, 1.92. If you were to take the measurement out the airport, only a half of an inch of rainfall. So this is what I was talking about a little bit earlier, how you could see X amount of rainfall, your neighbor across the street can see a totally different number than you. So it just depends on where you were in Redding. If I say 1.92, but you live at the airport, you go, what are you talking about? I didn't see that much rain. Well, of course you didn't, because out at the airport you saw half an inch, but out in West Redding you saw almost 2 inches of rainfall, right? So again, always remember that when you see rainfall totals. It depends on where you are. Rain gauge isn't broken. I'm not reporting false data. It just depends on where that particular rain gauge is. All right, enough of that. I can go on and on, but people still don't listen and they'll still complain about the rainfall totals being wrong. All right, there you can see 3.35 out in Crescent City, almost 3 inches in Trinidad. There you can see Fortuna 2.48 and Redway about 4 inches of rain. But of course, look off to the north and east. You just didn't see quite as much rain. Now, how are we doing for the season? Well, with the rain that we did see, at least at the airport, keep in mind what we're looking at here is for the airport. I don't have this type of data here for West Redding, unfortunately, so we have to go off of the data that we've got access to. So there you can see the amount of rainfall that we did see at the airport, at least, didn't really bump up the season or drop it down. We were 99% before the storm came through on Saturday, so we didn't see much change there. Now, Red Bluff actually did see an uptick. I think it was like 93% on Monday, so we did get up to about 96. So it did help. The rain that we did see at least kept things status quo or bumped us up a little bit higher than where we were on Monday. You can see out in Eureka, 127%. That's about the same where we were on Monday, and it looks like 143% for Crescent City. You get the idea, a lot on the coast, right? Even Mount Shasta City, almost 120% for the season. That's a little less than we were at this time last year. We take you out to Montague, 80%. I believe it was like 79% on Monday. So yeah, some of the rain we did see did help give us some improvement. 106% out at the Alturas airport there. But last year, look at how much better we were. Look at last year. We were almost at 10 inches at this point. So yeah, it just depends. But overall, can't complain. Things are going well. And how about the snow cover? Well, unfortunately, we have seen over the last week or so, we've seen some of the snowpack kind of decrease a little bit here. But when you look at the overall statewide average, for the most part, we still can't complain. We're almost at 100%, not only for your percent of April 1st average, but also normal to date for the state. So really, all in all, things are looking pretty good when it comes to the snowpack. Now, the temperatures, they're going to be, we're going to see them try to increase a little bit here, but for the most part, they will most likely stay right around or just below normal for this time of the year. Let's take a look at those wave heights. What you'll notice here for today, not an issue. But as we go through the day on Tuesday, we're going to start to see those wave heights increase as the storm system approaches on Wednesday. So the marine forecast, yeah, southwest winds at 5 to 10 knots. No advisories today, but by tomorrow and into Wednesday, we're going to be talking about a small craft advisory because of those higher wave heights. All right, so here's kind of that footprint of what we expect here across Northern California. 65 degrees for Redding, 64 degrees in Chico. Temperatures mainly upper 40s, low 50s for the mountains, north and east, although in Trinity County, mid to upper 50s inland, and for the coast, temperatures in the mid 50s for those daytime highs. And looking at that 7-day outlook, as we take a look at your neighborhood forecast for the valley, there's the dry conditions today and tomorrow. Now, as I mentioned, especially the east side of the valley. Don't be surprised if maybe you see a stray sprinkle or a light shower late this afternoon, evening, but overall should be a dry day. It's Wednesday that we expect the bulk of the rain to move in. Off and on showers continue through Saturday, maybe even for your Easter Sunday. Let's take a look at your North Coast neighborhood forecast, not to mention your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. I've got the chance in there for a stray sprinkle or a light shower for the coast and inland. Most likely Weaverville will stay dry for everyone on Tuesday, and then that rain kicks in Wednesday and continues off and on through the rest of the week and into the weekend. Siskiyou County, Modoc County, and your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast there. There, of course, you can see those temperatures are going to be dropping. And we'll be looking at snow levels, not dropping down a whole lot. I'm expecting somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 feet for your Wednesday through the first part of the weekend. And if we do see any precipitation on Sunday, probably still around 5,000 feet for those snow levels. So yeah, kind of interesting here. When we look at the overall outlook here, this is kind of a typical spring pattern, if you will, right? Where we see some dry, warmer weather, and then we kind of get some clouds and some rain in there, slightly cooler temperatures, maybe a little bit of snow in the higher elevations. Nothing too terribly unusual for this time of the year. And as always, right? Rain for the most part, unless we're flooding. Rain is certainly going to be a welcome sight. We're above normal for most areas, and if we're not, we're very close to normal for this time of the year, so we certainly can't complain in the rain department, although, you know, as we all know, sometimes people find a way to complain about something, right? But yeah, that's kind of how it works. Good morning from Ruth. Good morning from Janet. Good morning. Will we be able to see the northern lights caused by the solar flares? If so, when will that be the best time? I'm gonna have to double check on that, but I think we're gonna be a little bit too far south for that. I'd have to, let me just kind of see here if there's anything on that Northern Lights, California. Let's see here. Sometimes you can find like a map that'll show you. Yeah, and I'm seeing the map, and no, we are not going to be in the path of this one. We are not going to be looking at Northern Lights, and it's going to be clear tonight, but that doesn't really matter because it's not going to be coming this far south. So no, just to answer your question, based on just my quick glance at things, I don't think we're going to be looking at Northern Lights. Shelley, good morning to you from Weaverville. So glad to see you this morning. And Leanne, watching from Grants Pass. Oh, interesting. Our neighbors to the north. Maybe I should start in Oregon or Weather Southern Oregon. Doesn't quite have a very good ring to it. But, maybe in future as I expand Weather NorCal, maybe it'll eventually expand into Southern Oregon. Wouldn't that be fun? Beautiful brisk morning in Summit City. Tony Parkins, can't get you on my TV this morning. Darn it. Oh, you know what? I did notice. I'm going to check it right now, and I apologize. I'm going to have to talk to my server on that. I did notice that Roku wasn't working. Although I'll say this, and this is a good backup for you. You can watch on YouTube. So if you have a smart, like your Roku, for example, if it's not working on Roku, which I'm going to double check here, see if it's working for me, see if it started working again. But I've noticed that on my Roku, it wasn't working. Yeah, it's not working. It can't obtain the feed. Yeah, I apologize. There's some technical issues with the Roku app. But that being said, if you have a Roku or any kind of smart TV device, you can still watch on YouTube. So if you go to your YouTube app on Roku, which is not working on right now, you can watch. Just make sure you search for Weather NorCal there. That's a backup I should try to tell everybody about because, yes, if it's not working on Roku, you can get it on YouTube. That's a good backup for you. But I know it's much easier to kind of have your routine and get started. And unfortunately, that's a bummer because a lot of people may not know that they can go to YouTube. So good. I'm glad you got that, Tony. So remember that in the future, if for some reason Roku's not working, then try YouTube. And if that's not working, then there's probably a bigger problem in there. But overall, I've got to contact my server as soon as I'm done with Coffee with Krueger and see what is going on with that because hey, you know, you got to have your information. Nobody likes to wake up to your morning routine and then suddenly something is thrown off. So that's no fun. All right, so there you have it, folks. That is your forecast. That is your Coffee with Krueger this morning. It is 7:09 this morning. We are going to go ahead and wrap things up, but be sure to keep watching over the next couple of days, especially if you have outdoor plans by midweek, because we have got some more rain in the forecast. There you go, Tony. You got me on YouTube. Excellent. See, there you go. Problem solved. Tell all your friends, too, if they have Roku and they watch on Roku, that they can watch on YouTube if something's going wrong on Roku. All right, thank you, Tony. That's awesome. So glad you could finally get me on your big screen. I'm bigger now on your screen. But yes, so we've got the chance for showers for everybody by the time you get into Wednesday. So you'll want to keep watching to make sure that you can stay ahead of the storm and know what to expect as we start progressing through the week. We're going to leave you with a few shots of some cameras around here. In the meantime, you have yourselves a great start to your work week on Monday, and we will see you bright and early here tomorrow morning on Coffee with Krueger at 6:30.